What's up guys, MikeCoco back here bringing you guys a new video for the new update for November. We have new heroes, a new event, and some other stuff was reworked, so I'll go through that really quick. Now the first thing I want to talk about is the wings update. Now if I was in the world with all the other characters, you would see the main character with wings on their back, so I'll probably just go in here really quick. Alright, so I'm in the world right now, and as you can see, there are wings on my back, there are wings on other people's back. The wings is a new feature for the main hero, and it improves your stats by quite a bit when you rank them up to level 5, which is the maximum cap for now. And to unlock the wings, you first have to be achievement level 8, which you can increase that by doing the missions here. Now, as for the wings themselves, they require rune powder and dragonhearts to upgrade. It's actually quite costly at level 1 to level 2. To max out level 1, you need 50k rune powder. To max out level 2, you need 70k rune powder, and you need 1k dragonhearts to successfully increase your level from level 1 to 2. And then you need to have 1.5k dragonhearts for level 2 to level 3. So how it works is I've already maxed out for level 2, but basically there's EXP for your wings from 0 to 100%. There's like an X amount of rune powder to gain 1% of EXP, so you can choose to use all of your rune powder and max out your wings. But it does cost quite a bit, so I'd be careful with that. And you also need dragon hearts to evolve it. So once you hit 100% EXP, that's not enough. You also need dragon hearts to actually evolve to the next set of wings. Now you can actually change the appearance. The stats will remain the same. So if I wanted this appearance, I would still get the stats of my highest level wings, but it would just look like this. And I personally like this one a lot. I like this one better than that one because this one just makes you look like a butterfly. So I don't know, that's kind of weird. But as you can see, at level 5, it's a 20% buff, which is pretty decent because the main hero is not that bad anymore. He or she is pretty good now, so it's worth it, but it's gonna be costly, so I wouldn't spam all your materials on it right now. I would go through it kind of slowly. It's not meant to be maxed out like instantaneously. So that's just my thought on that. Now, next thing I want to talk about are the new heroes for the patch. We have two new heroes. One of them is a mythic hero and the other one is a non-mythic hero. So the first one is King Pharos. Probably butchered his name, but he's pretty decent. I actually think he has a really good skill, and we'll take a look at that really quick. It's a 250 skill, which is always good, and it's a row attack for attack and defense debuff, and increases the critical hit or the critical rate for the allies in his row by 100%. So that's basically a guaranteed critical, so long as it's not removed or anything. So you can target any row, and it will be a 40% reduction at level 50 and 100% increase in critical rate. Now, I don't believe this 40% will go past level 50. There aren't any other heroes that have that as of now, but the 100% crit buff is always good. This brings it to, I think, 3 heroes now, excluding Denari. We have 3 heroes that are actually worth using that provide a critical buff. And King Pharos is actually the best because as of now it's 100%, although I do feel like Pram's 75% crit buff, along with the standard 30% crit buff of all heroes, if you add that together, it's 105%. So I feel like that's pretty much already guaranteed. I feel like that's how the calculation works because I haven't seen Pram miss, although if they do miss, it's very rare. So Pram 75% crit buff is already, I would consider that near 100, but it's always good to have a guaranteed 100% crit buff. You're sure no matter what will happen. So that's good. And critical buffing heroes is actually really important in this meta. I wouldn't consider a team without a crit buffer at all because critical damage is 2 times damage. So long as like attack buff and critical buff work together, you can't just have all attack buff and no crit buff because once you have enough attack, it increases past like the quote-unquote threshold, and then you can get a crit and it'll double the damage. But you can't just stack crit alone because if you don't have enough damage like attack to surpass the threshold, your crits won't deal a lot anyway. So they kind of work in conjunction with each other, which is really nice. And along with that, I just want to say his mythic skill is also really good. It's a Phoenix mythic skill. Now, obviously, it's not something like attack up or deals more damage to the bosses, but considering he's a tank and with pretty decent stats and season 8, it makes him a very good tank because if he dies, he revives again. So I don't think we've actually had a good tank that has a skill since Dark Knight, which is season 4, and that's 4 seasons ago. So I think that Mythic skill pairs really well for his character, who's obviously melee and tank based. So that's nice. Now, the Mythic season hero involves the same storyline. It's another war god, and I'm not gonna try to pronounce it at all. Pagunsung. Pag. Okay, I'm not gonna try it. Okay, whatever. So his skill is 300 Fury, which is kind of bad, but if you read the rest of it, it's actually pretty decent. It's a 3x3 damage, and it stuns for 2 turns with high probability, and increases the attack. So it's a self-attack buff, and increases his own critical damage. So we've been seeing this a lot actually. Recently, a lot of heroes or their costumes have added a critical hit damage buff, and his increases it at 15% at level 50. Now, I'm not sure if it will increase past level 50. I feel like it will, just because he is a mythic hero, and obviously mythic season hero privileges, and his attack probably also increases past 50%. If it doesn't, then I wouldn't say he's a good hero, but if it does, then he is really good. We can pretty much ignore the stun as of now, because in the current meta, stuns are not useful except for mines and basically only PvP modes. And the critical hit damage is actually pretty important because, as I said before, critical buffers are pretty much a guaranteed in a good team. You need those, and having extra critical hit damage just means that your crits deal more damage. So in essence, that's basically an attack up, and he also increases his own attack by 50%. Now, the only bad thing about it is that it's a 300 Fury. Now, in a 3x3, the last 3x3 hero that I covered was Metatron, and she actually did not have the same SDF as the other 3x3s. I have a link somewhere, but I can probably post it on the description or something. But these three, like the Mythic Season 3x3s, aside from Remy, I don't believe they have the same SDF as the regular season 3x3s. So the 3x3s are actually pretty decent. And along with the new heroes, we have obviously new combos for them. I'm just gonna take a look at one of them. One of them is the new. So one of them has the King Pharos, which is I think Komareo and King Pharos. That's a pretty decent combo. Calm is not that great. Definitely better than a Reese, but it's in a pinch if you need 20% attack boost or 15% if you just want to use it too. That's pretty decent. I would still say that Black Arrow is one of the better ones, along with So We Meet Again, and probably even this one, or obviously Sharpshooter. That's still relevant today, and maybe even Who's the Fairest of them all. Those are all pretty decent. We have a new one, which is the Cannon Heroes. Now, this is actually pretty good if you have Poki's costume, and if you run a lot of Cannon Heroes like Pram, Kokomo, Hyrule, Poki. That's a pretty solid team, especially with Poki's costume that increases the minimum damage by 2.5 times. So that's pretty good. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the combos. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the new event, which is basically you get these well, not here. You get these, like, I would call these like kind of coupons. They allow you to play a certain mode, and each coupon you get, you can go to the place in Nottingham. So you go here, and you can fight a specific boss. Now, it's kind of weird at this point because the way, like, I'm gonna read off of the patch notes, but the way it's worded, it sounds like when you reach the end of the dungeon, you get the reward box, and if you don't reach the end of the dungeon, or it says here, if you clear the first boss, you'll also obtain a reward box. Now, some of my guildmates have cleared the boss until the end, and they only receive one box, so I'm not sure if this is a glitch or not, but after every round, you get, I think, gold bundles of 100k, so you can do that. Now, there are 3 trials, and you can run any combination as long as you have the parchments. So I can do 3 moquettes, or I can do 3 golems, or I can do 3 tomes, or I can do like 2 golems and then 1 tome. I personally would prefer or recommend golem or tome, because moquette, I believe it just gives gold, and this mode already gives gold, so what's the point unless you really need gold. Golem is pretty good. It gets you stuff like rune stones, rune essence. I've also had stuff drop like what is it, rank 5 or rank 6 rings, and this is actually pretty decent. Splendid legendary 6 chest. Usually splendid items are only in the mythic, or not the mythic, the chrono shop. So yeah, you can actually get this. So I still don't know what the full list of drops are, so I'll probably compile that once I get more information. And I heard the tome one drops like tickets, so it can be like gold tickets, legendary tickets, mythic tickets. I heard. I can't confirm that, but I can confirm the others. And legendary tickets. So I would definitely go with the latter two if you need, or if you want to farm good items. Because as always, gold is farmable, these things are not. So there is that event. And I do want to talk about the new changes to Mythic Raid. They changed the rewards, so they doubled everything, and they removed the old Mythic medals. So they're now, I think, double hearts. So it makes it a lot easier for free players to get hearts. And the Mythic medals, I think they have increased the medal count. I'm not too sure about that because I don't remember, but they did remove the older mythic medals, and now you can purchase them using the glittering ones, which is the new one. Now I'm not sure what this is. The description here is rumored to be filled with incredible items, but as you can see here, it costs significantly less than a mythic 6 chest. I have no idea what that is, and yeah, I don't know what that is, so I have absolutely no clue. So I'm just gonna skip that because, yeah, I don't know what that is, and I'm not willing to test it because those medals are not exactly easy to come by. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is a change to Chrono Store. We can actually receive S8 heroes now, or S7, the later S7 heroes like Sarah, Prince Arthur, I think Lucas. They now pop up. I haven't seen an S8 yet, but I probably will. And it seems that they made the prices a bit cheaper, which is really good. And yeah, the chrono is a lot better now actually since the last update. So it's definitely worth considering. I actually purchased a lot of rune essence, and that's why I'm super low on hearts. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I'm missing anything else in this update. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Peace.